What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? It's your boy Hoodie KUSH with the Basement Boys. Back again, man. Back again. 53-man roster. The cuts have happened. The roster's set. Let's see. Let's see what we got, man. How y'all feeling about it? You know, I'm feeling really good about it. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a pretty good roster for right now. I mean, the job ain't done. You know what I'm saying? We probably got until the trade deadline, I think, in November. You know what I'm saying? And since, you know, we did a 53-man roster cut, and that means the entire NFL did a 53-man roster, did a 53 roster cut. You know what I'm saying? My guy, Doc Owens, what's the deal with you? How you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. So the roster cuts completed today. Um, no way that there's no possible way that we are complete with putting this roster together. There's no way. I can almost guarantee that we are not done putting this roster together. You know what I'm saying, but for the first 53 that we see, it's not a bad look. It's really not. I'm actually excited. There are a few things that I personally wanted that we didn't get, but we'll discuss it. You know what I'm saying? We'll discuss it together as a family. You know what I'm talking about? And with that being said, let's get this show started. You know what I'm saying? So if we look at these, if we look at this here, right, this is your first 53. You know what I'm saying? And having your first 53, not a bad look. Not a bad look at all. I'm talking about, take a look at these guys. You know, you got your who's, of course. Let's get into it. So, of course, your quarterbacks, you got Dak Prescott, Joe Milton. Moved on from Will Greer, I guess, which was to be expected. Will Greer didn't really give us much to go off of. You know, he didn't really have much of a really good preseason. But Joe Milton, he showed us that he can adapt. He showed us at least that he can settle down and make the plays when necessary. Now, did he have eye popping numbers? No, not at all. He didn't. But he showed us some good things. I'm not going to sit here and fraud. He showed us some good things. You know what I'm saying? We already know what we're getting out of Dak Prescott, especially a healthy Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to move over to the running backs. This is one of the spots where I have some reservations. You got Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jadon Blue, Hunter Lipke, and Phil Maffa. Now, Phil Maffa, as we all know, Phil Maffa is on IR. I don't think it's season-ending IR, but he's on IR. Yeah, I figured out a few things. If you didn't notice, I figured out a few things how to, get some documents up for you guys. You know what I'm saying? So you look at if you look at the depth chart, one of my questions that I had an issue with was Miles Sanders. He didn't really show me anything that second preseason game, and we really didn't get much chance to see him. You know what I'm saying? We really didn't get much of a chance to see him. So I'm expecting, like Shotty said, he alluded to earlier in his press conference, we are open for business. No way are we done getting this team together. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, look forward to seeing some of Miles Sanders. And if he doesn't succeed, then of course we can elevate Phil Maffa and or whoever else we may bring back on the practice squad and move forward from there. But for the most part, not a bad running back room. It's not a bad running back room. Javonte Williams, they look at him like he has upside. Remember, he's a young guy. He's only like 24, 25. You know what I'm saying? Only been in the league 2, maybe 3 years. You know what I'm saying? He's really not that seasoned, but he has experience, which is good. Jadon Blue, rookie. I mean, aside from the ankle injuries, I don't see there being much of an issue. Um, let's see here. Let's see here. Bring this back up. You know, Jadon Blue, of course, the ankle injury, but it's all right. I mean, it gives him time because you have Javonte Williams, Phil Maffa. I'm sorry, Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders. So the fact that you have those two, shout out to Nick Harris for this breakdown. um, I'm not sold on Miles Sanders. I'm just not sold. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to think that maybe the Carolina issue wasn't just a Carolina issue. I'm starting to see it like the Carolina issue was more of a Miles Sanders issue. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I I try to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Right? Like, all right, he was really good in Philadelphia. He was really good in Philadelphia. And they moved on from him, sent him down to Carolina. And the woes of Carolina made it seem as if it was just the organization. Now, one thing that gave me the reason to say that is because if you look at what Jonathan Mingo has done leading up to his injury, Jonathan Mingo showed us that boy can ball. You know what I'm saying? He was really making a push for number 3 wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? So he showed us he can hoop. Then the injury happened. But with with Miles Sanders, it seems like it wasn't just a Carolina thing. I think it was a Miles Sanders thing. You know what I'm saying? How was it that what is his name? Chuba Hubbard can come in and, go over 1,000 easily. You know what I'm saying? He was their best back easily. You know what I mean? Jonathan Brooks they have down there, I believe. And he was pretty serviceable until injury. You know what I'm saying? And they pretty much just lost faith in Miles Sanders. So maybe it's not just Carolina in that situation, in that sense. You know what I'm saying? But no matter, he's on the roster. For how long? That's the question. So as you see, you got Hunter Lipke. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you can see my cursor. You got Hunter Lipke and then Phil Maffa. Phil Maffa's on IR. We already know the situation there. I don't think it's a season-ending IR, but the fact that we could stash him is good enough for me. I really thought that Phil Maffa could possibly make waves elsewhere, and I didn't want that because we picked him. We chose him. You know what I mean? Us as the Cowboys chose Phil Maffa. So if we think that highly of him, I want him to succeed here. I really do. Jadon Blue as well. Hunter Lipke as well. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm at on the running back room. Now, Hunter Lipke is an odd prospect. Only because, pardon me, Hunter Lipke is your fullback, H-back, tight end. You know what I'm saying? He could be a part of your running back room, but the fact that he's a fullback, H-back, he's not necessarily a part of your running back room. Then you can have him a part of the tight end room with the H-back situation. So I think that works out for him. And as Shadi says, he's a baller. You know what I'm saying? Now let's look at the wide receivers. Of course, the who's who, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Cavante Turpin, Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Brooks. Now, I don't think the way that they have the order that they have this in is going to be the order we start off with. I really don't think that's what it's going to be. I still believe it's a wide receiver 3 by committee just with these 3 men. The Jalen Tolbert, Cavante Turpin, and Ryan Flournoy. I think you will probably see more Cavante Turpin and Ryan Flournoy than you'll see Jalen Tolbert. But you will see Ryan Flournoy more on special teams. He's done a hell of a job. The kid has burst. You know what I'm saying? He's really done his job. What's going on, Key? What's going on, Keon? How you feeling, bro? You know what I'm saying? Good to see you. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. You heard? You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that, you take the order with a grain of salt. Take the order in which they land with a grain grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask me, I think the Mingo injury dictated the Jalen Tolbert holding, not the Ryan Flournoy holding, not the Ryan Flournoy signing or retainment, if you will. I think it had a lot to do with the Jalen Tolbert retainment. My fault, bro. My fault. I mean, I almost called you something else, and I didn't want to do that. I ain't key off. My bad. Pardon me. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at that, I don't take any stock in the order that these guys are in. Now, we already know CD, George Pickens, we already know what that is. And again, Key, I got to thank you. I got to thank you. Thank you for that guy right there, George Pickens. Yeah. So the order of this, I really take no stock in. Same thing with the order in the pecking order in the running back room, the way that it's set up. I really don't take no stock in it. I think if Jadon Blue is healthy, I think if Jadon Blue gets over the ankle, I think he's your running back too, and he could possibly overtake Javonte Williams for running back one. So I mean, anything's possible there. You know what I'm saying? So don't get caught up in the order of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Boop. I gotta go over to the next slide. Wham. Let's go over to the next slide. I know. This shit is pissing me off. I don't understand it. Like, that's one thing. I think it's just StreamYard. It's either StreamYard or the fact that I'm doing this at work. I'm not at home, but I still got to get the content out to you guys. So bear with me. I'll try my best. Like, when it comes time for me to get better equipment and all that, trust me, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Going over to the next slide. Now we're going to look at the tight end room. The tight end room, Jake Ferguson, Luke Schoonmaker, Brevin Spanford. Now, there's a glaring hole there. There's something that I'm not seeing there that kind of gives me pause, right? What I'm not seeing there is Rivaldo Fairweather. I'm not seeing Rivaldo Fairweather, and it kind of does something to me, because I think Rivaldo Fairweather did more than enough to overtake Luke Schoonmaker. We haven't really seen much of Luke Schoonmaker in throughout the offseason, going into OTAs, minicamp, preseason. We really didn't see much. I can understand why we didn't see much of Brevin Spanford. He was dealing with a high ankle sprain, as opposed to Jadon Blue's low ankle sprain. So that takes a little bit more time to heal, maybe another 2, maybe 3 weeks more time to heal. Okay, so I get that. And Brevin Spanford has more upside. Kid's 6'7", 270. That's not, and he's a tight end, you know what I'm saying? So that's not normal. That's something you want to hold on to. But I really thought Rivaldo Fairweather would have been a better fit. Only because he's a little bit more athletic. Now, a lot of people say that he's not really much of a blocking tight end. I'm going to be honest, man. As far as him being a blocking tight end, we had issues with Jake Ferguson and his blocking when he first came in. So, I mean, that's not something you can't learn from. You know what I'm saying? I understand the John Stevens waving and the Tyler Neville wavings, but the Rivaldo Fairweather waving kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But it is what it is. We can't change it. That's our tight end room. You know what I'm saying? We're going to go to the O-line. Offensive line. You got Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, Terrence Steele, Nate Thomas, Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, Johnny Cornelius. For now. Okay? Keep that in mind. For now. This is not the end-all, be-all. This might not be the way the roster is set up come week 8. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, for right now, for continuity's sake, we're going to look at it like this. Tyler Guyton coming back off an injury. I doubt he'll make it to see week 1. So that's when you'll see Nate Thomas take that spot, right? So you got Nate Thomas, Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker. I am eager to see Tyler Booker, Cooper Beebe, and Tyler Smith this game against the Pigeons. Okay, and I use that term with all disrespect. Okay, yes, we're going to see the Pigeons. Okay, and they're going to want to raise their banners and talk their shit. I don't really care. Lace them up, pad it up, line it up, let's ball. Okay, that's where I'm at with it. Terrence Steele, I'm hoping we get a better Terrence Steele. Now, from what we know of Terrence Steele, he's a much better run blocker, and the fact that we want to run the ball bodes well for him. You know what I'm saying it bodes really well for him. So we shall see how that works out. The audio is choppy. I fucking hate it, man. But it's cool. Yo, yo, yo. Can y'all hear me? Can everybody hear me? Everybody good? Audio good? Put a 1 in the chat if the audio's good. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is good. Let me see here. Okay. How about now? Can everybody hear me? Am I good? Am I good in the chat? Am I good in the chat? I hope so. I hope I'm good. I hope I'm good, audio. But I'm gonna just keep it rolling. Yeah. So we're looking at a few guys that may come back, right? I'll touch on the guys that we cool beans. I'll touch on the guys that we've waived or released after I'm done with this whole 53-man breakdown. I like TJ Bass. I wanted TJ Bass to stay here, continuity's sake. Him and Brock Hoffman work really, really well together. So having those two still on this roster bodes well for your depth. Okay. We're going to move over to the DEs, to the DNs. We kept 6. I was hoping we'd keep 6. And we kept the who's who of who's who. Micah Parsons, Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, Marshawn Nealon, Donovan Ezaraku, who's our second-round pick, and James Houston, who is a dog. That dude is a dog. He should scare people because he scares me. He scares me like Micah Parsons scares me. He scares me like Slam Williams scares me. Not Sam. Slam Williams scares me. He scares me like Dante Fowler scared me in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Not so much the Cowboys, but, in Washington. He didn't really scare the Cowboys because we beat them once and almost beat them again. So I'm not really worried about that. But Micah Parsons, is he going to play week 1? We don't know. We don't know. Shotty is optimistic. I'm honestly optimistic. I don't see Micah missing game checks. I don't see Micah playing around with his food. I see Micah wanting retribution. I see Micah wanting to fuck up an eagle. You know what I'm saying? I see Micah and the rest of the Cowboys defense wanting to go skeet shooting. That's what I see. You know what I'm saying? Dante Fowler has a chip on his shoulder. Sam Williams is coming back off an injury, so he's got a chip on his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? Marshawn Nealon coming back off an injury, so he feels he has something to prove. Donovan Ezaraku is playing his hometown team, so I know he wants to come out and show up and show out. And James Houston, I think, like Micah Parsons, he just gets out of bed wanting to beat the hell out of somebody. Honestly, like you say, most people ask if Micah is going to be ready for week 1. Honestly, I think that dude can just roll out of bed and get 6 sacks in a game. I think he can. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at James Houston from what I've seen in the same light. Now, am I saying he's as good as Micah? No, but what I am saying is he has the ability. If you look at what he's done in the preseason, pocketing left tackles for lunch, you know what I'm saying? Like, that tells me that he's got a bag. He's strong. He's fast. He's got some wiggle to him, and he's got pass rush. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really optimistic about this DE room. Looking forward to seeing how it all comes together. Now we're going to look at the DTs. The DTs, we are keeping 5. We are keeping 5. Also, Diggy Zua, of course, we're keeping him because we paid him. We paid him in excess of $21 million a year. Solomon Thomas, who is a house. This dude, he's a journeyman, you can say, but for a journeyman to still be able to produce the way that he's produced where he's been, I see nothing wrong with that pick. You got Jay Toia the 7th-round pick out of UCLA, who I've been banging the table for. I've been banging the table for Jay Toia since the draft. Okay, you got Perion Winfrey, the steal from the UFL, USFL, USXFL, whatever it is. Apparently, the Cowboys have this like Midas touch when it comes to the UFL, when it comes to those guys. Brandon Aubrey, Kavontae Turpin, and now Perion Winfrey. Perion Winfrey earned his way on this team, and I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. He's had trouble in the past. He was in the NFL, lost his way, grew up. He ended up going to the UFL, UFS, wherever it is. He ended up going to going there. He has a family now. He grew up. He grew out of his childish ways. You know what I'm saying? But there's something that he held on to that I have much, much respect for. He held on to that dog. You know what I'm saying? And that's to be commended. So welcome to the team, Perion Winfrey, Jay Toia. I mean, happy to have you. And the elephant in the room, we're still rocking with Mozzie Smith. Now, I'm not going to cast too much disparagement on Mozzie Smith. I'm not, because I think he deserves more than just that. You know what I'm saying? He deserves his chance. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to sit here and completely poo-poo on this guy. Does he have his issues? Does he have his shortcomings? Yeah, but it could be worse. It could be much, much worse. And it could be worse by not having the guys around him that we have around him. You know what I'm saying? So with Mozzie, fuck it, I'm going to say it. The Joneses wanted to keep him here. All right, the Joneses wanted to keep him here because I think the conversation was between Mozzie Smith and Tommy Akingbasotay. That's what the conversation was. You know what I'm saying? So we see what we got there. You know, I'm not gonna read too far into it. I'm not going to cast too much disparagement on the man. I want him to succeed. He is on this team, so I want him to succeed. Let's move on to the linebacker room. Now, this is the bread and butter of this defense. I think the linebackers and the edges, this is the bread and butter of this defense. Again, pay no attention to the alignment. Pay no attention to the way that they're listed. Okay, that could change. That's always subject to change. All right. So you got Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn, Maris Leofau, Damone Clark, Shamar James. I'd watched some film on Kenneth Murray, and from what I've seen from watching his film, he's got a good motor. He can actually read and react. Could it be better? Yeah. He's not a complete liability in coverage, but he gets lost sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, but that can all be tweaked in the right situation. And maybe this is the right situation. Jack Sanborn. Jack Sanborn was under Matt Eberflus, our now defensive coordinator and then head coach of the Chicago Bears. Jack Sanborn was a 5th-round pick, I believe. 5th-round pick. The linebacker room in Chicago ended up dealing with some injury. Jack Sanborn stepped in and stepped up. Jack Sanborn knows this defense. He look at him as if he's a younger, a little bit better version of Eric Kendricks last season under Zimmerman. You know what I'm saying? Zimmerman had handpicked Eric Kendricks because he understood his defense. And I think it's the same thing here. Okay. You got Maris Leofau. Maris Leofau, freaking missile. This dude is shot out of a cannon, and he's been this way since he came in from Notre Dame. He is a 3rd-round pick out of Notre Dame, and I have high hopes for this guy. I'm super high on Maris Leofau. Maris Leofau gives you doggish play. Maris Leofau gives you somebody who's angry, who plays big. You know what I'm saying? He's a guy in my book that you can't get one over on. He has a nose for the ball. You know what I'm saying? He definitely attacks the ball. He attacks the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? You really can't get much past him. But we shall see. This is year 2 for him. This is year 2 for Maris Leofau. Year 2 for Maris Leofau. Just in preseason, looked like it's going to be a great fucking year. And I have a feeling it's going to be a great fucking year for Maris Leofau. You know what I'm saying? So we shall see how that works out. And you got Damone Clark. Damone Clark in preseason this year has shown me something. He showed me that he can still learn. He showed me that he can still play good ball. Under Zimmer, he just wasn't a fit. Under Quinn, they had him doing a lot of stuff that is not for him. He's not built for the mic. I'm sorry, he's just not. He's not a middle linebacker. I don't care how much Van Der Esch tried to groom him into that, but he is not a middle linebacker. He is your Will or your Sam. I want little coverage out of this guy as possible. All I want him doing is filling the gaps, attacking the line, attacking the running backs, attacking the quarterbacks, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush, run stop, run stop, run stop. That's what I look at. That's what I see when I look at Damone Clark. Shamar James, a little different. He's more of a hybrid guy to me, just my opinion. I think Shamar James is more of a hybrid guy. Shamar James can play in coverage. Granted, sometimes he guesses wrong. But as long as he's playing within the scheme, within the play, really good. High upside. I have nothing but faith in this guy. He's coming out of Florida. I believe it's Florida. Yeah, he's coming out of Florida. Florida? Yeah, I think he's coming out of Florida. So that's our linebacker room. And mind you, keep in mind, probably won't be until Thanksgiving, but we also get the Marvion Overshown back, Agent Zero. And the last time we saw Agent Zero, he was everywhere. I mean, he was everywhere. You couldn't keep him off the field. And with that being said, right, it's like now you can pick your poison how you want to play it. You can actually rest these guys and not have drop-off. That's the beauty of it. You know what I'm saying? You can actually have 6 linebackers on the roster and be able to just constantly hit them with waves and waves and waves of linebackers, of great linebacker play. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really looking forward to that when it comes to the linebackers. If we look at our corners, Trayvon Diggs, he's looking healthy. He has a very good chance of coming back. I would like to see, most people would say week 1. I say week 2, week 3. I'm fine with that because we still do have, pardon me, we still do have Deron Bland, Kyer Elam, Andrew Booth, Kalen Carson, Zion Childress. Now, Zion Childress, I am high on. I like this play during the preseason. Again, if you look at what Jay Lou was to us, I see shades of that in Zion Childress. I see shades of Jay Lou and Zion Childress. He plays the run. He's not afraid to hit. He is not afraid to hit. He hovers around that around the line. You know what I'm saying? He does a pretty good job setting the edge. When it comes to coverage, I'm not going to say he's a liability, but he has a lot more to learn. So if you're looking at how that's set up, being so we may not have Trayvon week 1, we're going to end up going with Deron Bland, Kyer Elam on the boundaries, and Zion Childress in the slot. That's always subject to change. That's subject to change. It's not a definite. You know what I'm saying? Kalen Carson, but we do still have Savon Revel. He's on injured reserve. You got Josh Butler. He's also on injured reserve. I don't think they're on reserve, but they're injured. And yeah. So you still have Savon Revel, and you still have Josh Butler. Now, That's the thing. We see Andrew Booth and Kalen Carson. Now, if I'm not expecting Savon Revel back at all this season. I am not expecting him back at all this season. Not this season. I will expect to see him next season, depending on how his recovery goes. My issue is Kalen Carson. Kalen Carson and Andrew Booth. Kalen Carson, they called him seatbelt. I call him baby seat. Baby seat Carson, no disrespect, I'm just saying, you shouldn't call yourself seatbelt if you ain't locking nothing up. You know what I'm saying? But baby seat Carson hasn't been healthy. He has not been healthy in the year and a half that we've had him. Andrew Booth is definitely a liability. Now he showed us some things in the preseason. He got an interception, pick six, in fact, which kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? He deserved it. Kudos to him. But that does not wash away the many times you got scorched. Now, there are some plays where, they were like, oh, man, Andrew Booth just, he's that bad. I'm not going to say he's that bad because there was a play in the preseason against the Rams. He was with the receiver step for step. It was just a really good ball. That was just a really well-thrown ball. You know what I'm saying? It's like, good defense, better pass, better catch. Can't really be mad at that. I'm not gonna knock him. I'm not gonna ding him for that one. You know what I'm saying? But there are instances where we've seen him get dusted off the line. We've seen him get dusted while he's in coverage. We've seen him get bullied. We've seen that. So that one pick six, couple of PBUs, well and good, but it doesn't erase the negative. As much as we may hit these guys with a bunch of negatives, we also have to look at the good. But at the same time, don't let the small goods overshadow the extreme negatives. Okay? So we're going to go over to the safety room. Safety room, Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas. I like the safety room. I do. Would I have preferred to keep Elijah Clark? Yes, 100%. My guy CFT alluded to it earlier in his live. I think Elijah Clark could be better than Donovan Wilson. I think he could be. If you want more in-depth chatter when it comes to, say, Marquise Bell, tap in with Aisha Morrison from Girls Talk, Boys Talk, 2i. She's very knowledgeable. She's great in what she does. She knows her ball. She's around these guys, so she has more of an inside track, boots to the ground. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage you, look her up. You know what I'm saying? She does a show with Skywalker Steel. I see her. I listen to we talk on my guy Nick's Spaces on Twitter as the Star Turns. Shout out to As the Star Turns, your guy Nick's. Yeah, man, just tap in. I mean, you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot listening to these content creators, these guys who actually work closely with the team, these guys who are in the building. You know what I'm saying? I'm fortunate enough that I'm fairly new to this content creation space, I'm pretty much tapped in with a lot of people that I didn't think I would be able to be tapped in with. I've always been a Cowboys fan, always been opinionated, always had my own views. But to actually get an opportunity to do this part here makes it that much the better. And now I'm meeting people all across the globe, as far as, conversation, nothing in person, but I'm meeting and talking to people all across the globe who have different views. And it's refreshing. It's refreshing to know that I'm not the only avid Cowboys fan who has an opinion. I'm not the only avid Cowboys fan who feels like he has something to offer this content creation space. This content creation space is huge. It is huge. We get a lot of trolls, you know what I'm saying? And I'm all right with it. It is what it is. That's what they're going to do. They're going to troll. But for the most part, Cowboys Nation, we rock. We rock. And I appreciate your support. I appreciate everything that you guys do. I appreciate y'all being here on everybody's platform, not just mine. You know what I'm saying? I may have only a few subscribers, but those few subscribers is all I need. I don't really need much. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you guys. I do. If we're looking at our specialists, Brandon Aubrey, of course, Butter, Brian Anger, the foot, and then Trent Sieg. You know what I mean? Maffa and Carson are expected to be exchanged for C.J. Goodwin and Hakeem Adeniji in 24 hours. That's the caveat. So they will have a roster spot. C.J. Goodwin and Hakeem Adeniji could possibly come back on the practice squad. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to these waivers, you know what I'm saying, like that right there bodes well too. Now remember, 32 teams, that's us included, 32 teams have done roster cuts. So that means there's a lot of bodies out there, a lot of bodies that we may have wanted, a lot of bodies that that we could use. It could be cap casualties. It could be guys who were just placeholders for another player. But there's a lot of bodies out there. Like Shadi said, he is open for business. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to seeing how the next few days go leading up to week 1. Let's see. Let's get into the released guys and the waived guys. Okay. So, like I just alluded to, Hakeem Adeniji is one of the guys that we released today. We can bring him back. He is not subject to waivers. Anybody who is released, they are what we call a vested veteran. The vested veterans need to accrue at least 4 years of NFL experience in order to not have to clear waivers. And luckily, we got quite a few guys who don't have to clear waivers. Hakeem Adeniji being one, Ernest Brown, Sadiq Charles, Garyon Christian, C.J. Goodwin. I don't think we're bringing back Will Greer. Keemon Hall, I doubt we're bringing him back. And if we do, cool. Buddy Johnson, I have a feeling he's going to be back on his practice squad. Darius Harris, wasn't too big on him, but, I mean, he was just a camp body. Israel Mukuamu, I'm going to be honest. I think teams are going to snatch him right the hell up. I'm not going to come down on my team for doing what they did because they're making room for players that they feel have done the most, right? So I don't think losing Israel Mukuamu will hurt us as much as Michael Parsons. You know what I'm saying? But it's still a blow. It doesn't hurt as much as losing Jordan Lewis. You know what I'm saying? But it's still a blow. And then Mike Ojemudia. Mike Ojemudia, he was just brought in a couple of weeks ago, camp body, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure we got guys out there in preseason. No disparagement cast on the young man. I hope that all these guys that have been released either come back or find a new home and they prosper. You know what I'm saying? We got to remember that these guys are people too. You know what I'm saying? They have families to feed as well. So, granted, they make an exorbitant amount of money, but they have families too. You know what I'm saying? So, before we start throwing stones at these guys, we got to remember they're people too. Now we're going to go into the waived portion. Now, the waived portion is like, your third-year guys, your second-year guys, your rookies. You know what I'm saying? The guys you brought in. Tommy Akingbasote. I have a feeling he'll be back on the practice squad. Definitely. I think he'll clear waivers, luckily. Justin Barron. I'm not sure if Justin Barron will clear waivers because the way that he was playing in the preseason, I think guys got their eyes on him. I doubt Justin Barron clears waivers. And if he does, we are one lucky sons of bitches. We are some lucky sons of bitches if he does. Jalen Brooks, for as much as he's done, he was great on special teams. He showed his ass in the preseason this year. Practice, he was really making plays. He stepped it up. I think he was doing even better than Jalen Tolbert. You know what I'm saying? But the decision came down to Ryan Flanoy, Jalen Brooks. Jalen Brooks and Ryan Flanoy pretty much did the same thing. The only difference is Ryan Flanoy made more hay in the preseason, just wasn't rewarded for it with catchable balls. You know what I'm saying? No Diddy. Before anybody gets any funny ideas, okay? No Diddy. Elijah Clark. We already discussed that. I think Elijah Clark would have flourished here, especially being behind. If I think we could have possibly carried 5 safeties, but I get it. If we're playing the numbers, it probably wasn't going to work. I'm saying. So Elijah Clark, unfortunately, I hope he clears waivers. I really hope he clears waivers. You got Tyrus Wheat. That's where, pardon me, that's where the conversation came in, right? The conversation for Tyrus Wheat was James Houston, Tyrus Wheat. Tyrus Wheat gives you a lot on special teams, but it doesn't give you a lot on the defensive line as far as run stopping and pass rush. He doesn't give you too much, so I can understand that. Now I'll say this: I think Tyrus Wheat will find a home. I don't think he clears waivers either. Tyrus Wheat was good. He was actually a good depth piece. You know what I'm saying? He reminded me of Chauncey Golston. Okay. If anybody remembers who Chauncey Golston was, he's now in New York as a depth piece. So I think Tyrus Wheat will find a home. Malik Davis, which I'm kind of down on. I like Malik Davis. The kid just deserves a chance. I hope that they bring him back on the practice squad. God forbid something happens, we can elevate him. You know what I'm saying, and get something out of him. But I was really high on Malik Davis. I'm still really high on him. I hope wherever he goes, I hope a team actually takes a chance on this kid, because they're going to show that he's going to show you something. He really is. One of the biggest issues for me, we've already discussed it when it came to the tight end room, Rivaldo Fairweather. I was not happy losing Rivaldo Fairweather, because like Malik Davis, like Tyrus Wheat, like Justin Barron, like Elijah Clark, there may be a good chance he won't clear waivers. There may be a very good chance that he won't clear waivers. And if I was to comp him to anybody, if I was to comp him to anybody, in my opinion, I would look at him like an Isaiah, a more compact, equally as physical, equally as athletic Isaiah Likely. That's the way I'm looking at Rivaldo Fairweather. But unfortunately, they decided they wanted to keep Luke Schoonmaker. Again, subject to change. Nothing is final yet. Nothing is final yet, because remember, we're going to lead up until, well, we have the waiver portion, I think, until Friday, or by Friday, and then I think Monday is when you're allowed to, sign these guys to the practice squad, and then everything leading up until the trade deadline. So it's not impossible. It's not impossible that we can't get him back. Princeton Fant. I wasn't too down on Princeton Fant, but I wasn't too high on Princeton Fant. They say that he could. I couldn't see it, but they say that he was really good blocking. He made a few plays when it came to preseason play. He wasn't total trash. He wasn't trash. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it would be nice to bring him back. It would be nice to bring all these guys back. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works. We can only have 17 practice squad players, or 16 and then one as a international player program, which I think we could bring back Denzel Jackson, but there's no guarantee. Trayshawn Holden. This one kind of burned too. But if the decision was vested veteran, Jalen Tolbert, or new guy on the block, Trayshawn Holden, we decided to go with vested veteran. Am I happy with it? No. Do I think most of Cowboy Nation is happy with it? Definitely not. Unless you're a Jalen Tolbert fan. I'm not going to disparage the man. He led the team in touchdowns last season by proxy, but he led the team in touchdowns last season. So obviously he's worth something. Maybe he could be better as a third wide receiver, fourth wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we're going to get much out of him on special teams because it's either he's missing something or it's a penalty. So, I mean, but we got to deal with what we got to deal with. Hopefully, Trayshawn Holden clears waivers, but I don't think that's happening. I think tomorrow that's probably going to be one of the first names we see get claimed off of waivers. Trayshawn Holden. Mark my words. I think it's going to be Trayshawn Holden, then you'll hear Rivaldo Fairweather, and then you'll hear Justin Barron. In that order. These guys are really good. They are really good for young guys. All they need is just to be honed just a little bit. They just need to be molded just a little bit. If they don't get claimed and they clear waivers, please, I beg you, bring them back. Bring them back. Because those guys, they could be your future. Justin Barron learning behind the Maris Leofile, Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn, Agent Zero. You know what I'm saying? Trayshawn Holden learning behind George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Jonathan Mingo. You know what I'm saying? Rivaldo Fairweather learning behind Jake Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? That's valuable. It's very valuable. It all depends on if we can get them to clear waivers. You got Deuce Vaughn. Tiny Deuce. It's a shame that was a failed experiment, and it's of no fault of Deuce Vaughn's. Through no fault of Deuce Vaughn, unfortunately, he's just not what he offers nothing on special teams. He offers nothing on special teams. So that's part of the issue there. The fact that he offers nothing on special teams makes it hard. You know what I'm saying? So they did what they were supposed to do, and unfortunately, they waived Deuce Vaughn. Jalen Cropper, we kind of saw the writing on the wall for the past 3 seasons. You know what I'm saying? We kind of saw the writing on the wall. Oh, my daughter's birthday. She got a new phone. Oh, wow, and I missed it. Unfortunately, I'm at work. I guess her mama took her out to dinner, but I'll be with her on Friday. So, and then Mike Smith. I'm pretty sure nobody knows who that is. I don't either. But it is what it is. Again, no disparagement cast on these guys because they are people. They are fighting for their football lives. Some of these young kids have families that they want to take care of. So no disparagement. I want to see all these guys succeed no matter where they go. Okay. So that's the 53-man roster breakdown, man. Like, how do y'all feel about it? I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we can be successful. Am I expecting a Super Bowl year 1? Get that out of your head. That's not working. That's not happening. I do not expect a Super Bowl year 1. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. I wasn't expecting it. This is a 2 to 3 year process. First year head coach, first year coaching staff together. We know Eberflus has been here before. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, man, I'm ready for week 1. Let's get ready to go punch on some Eagles. Let's go skeet shooting. I'm ready to go skeet shooting. You know what I'm saying? Pluck some feathers off some birds. You know what I'm saying? We got a healthy Dak Prescott. Y'all should be excited. If we can get Micah to play week 1, is he going to play 70 snaps? No, he's not going to play 70 snaps. It's going to be a ramp up for him. Like I said, I think Micah Parsons is one of those dudes who can literally roll out of bed and terrorize your quarterback. I think he's one of those dudes who can roll out of bed and punch on your left tackle, right guard, center, left guard. It doesn't matter. I think he's one of those dudes who can just walk in the building and just go in. So no matter how long we may see Micah Parsons on week 1, it's all going to be good. You know what I'm saying? But what I don't want to hear, if we don't see Micah Parsons on week 1 and we punch on the Eagles, and let's just say for sake of an argument, we blow the doors off of them. without Micah. I don't want to hear no bullshit talking about, oh man, see, we don't really need Micah. No, I'm not talking about from the Joneses. I'm talking about from y'all. I'm talking about from y'all. I don't want to hear none of that bullshit coming from the fans at all. At all. We've been banging the table for Micah Parsons to get paid. And for those who aren't, who want to blame him, kick rocks. Like, we don't need you. But if we're able to blow the doors off the Eagles week one without Micah Parsons, what do you think we can do to the entire NFL with Micah Parsons? What do you think that we can do to this entire establishment with Micah Parsons? It is incumbent upon Jerry Jones and David Mulligala to get their heads out of their asses and get a deal done. It is incumbent upon them. Okay? They have to. Because if they don't, they are ruining a shot for Shotty. They're ruining Shotty's first dance. We have an opportunity this season to surprise the NFL. Nobody knows what we're going to do. They know who Clayton Adams is. They know he's an offensive line guru. They know this. They know who Connor Riley is. They know that he was an offensive line guru coming out of college. They know who Shotty is. They know he was in the league for the past 30 years with no head coach experience. They know that. But here's the beauty of it. We got all this, and no one knows what the hell we're going to do. I know what it looks like from the outside. Oh, man, they got CD and George Pickens. Oh, they're just going to throw the ball all around the yard. But what you're forgetting is you got Clayton Adams, who turned the 40-second or the 30-second run game in Indianapolis into the second, third, fourth. What they don't know is you got Connor Riley, who in his own right is an All-American offensive lineman, who was responsible for 15 other All-American offensive linemen. What they don't know is, if they go back and do their history, Brian Schottenheimer did lead the league in rushing at least twice in his tenure as an OC. Once with the Jets, once with Seattle. He's been to 2 AFC championships. That's got to say something. No one is prepared for what's about to happen. All they know is we got George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. They probably think we don't have much of a run game because of a Miles Sanders being on the roster. They probably think that the defense can't stop the run, which I think is probably the biggest mistake in the world, because you got Jay Toia, who's 347. You got Perion Winfrey, who has the body of a 1 tech, but the weight of a 3, speed of a 3, determination of a madman, who's looking to make the best out of his situation. If I could bring up audio, I'd let y'all listen to what he said. Per Nick Harris, Perion Winfrey said, "The Cowboys took a chance on me when no one else will. I will take a bullet for this team. I will throw myself in front of a train for this team." Well, when you got a guy like that, you tell the opponents to watch the fuck out. Like, real talk. You tell them to watch the hell out. Because that's what you asked for, Shotty, Eberflus, what you asked for is physicality. You wanted physicality and you wanted violence. Well, Perion Winfrey brings you violence. Perion Winfrey, Micah Parsons, Dante Fowler, Slam Williams, because I'm hoping that's the Slam Williams we get this year. James Houston, they bring you physicality and violence. They bring it to you. They bring it for you. Maris Leofold, he's a violent man. Shamar James, he brings you physicality. Kenneth Murray, violence and physicality. Jack Sanborn, cerebral physicality. If we can get that same physicality from our corners to our safeties, we're even scarier. We are even scarier as a team. The offensive line, you saw it. You saw it with just the backups in the preseason, the continuity. You saw how they were opening lanes. You saw how clean the pockets were. You saw how clean Joe Milton was. Joe Milton took 2 sacks throughout the entire preseason. 2. That says something. 2 sacks in 3 games? Yeah, I'll take this offensive line. And that was just the backups. Imagine the type of work the starters are getting. Imagine the type of work the ones have gotten. The type of coaching the ones have gotten. And I'm going to expound on that too. The coaching and lack thereof. You had a few guys actually, Two-Eye. Shout out to Two-Eye. Lady Two-Eye, Aisha Morrison. She told us today in a space with Knicks that she was talking to some of the guys and they were singing the praises of the coaching staff because the coaching that they're receiving, they're more receptive to, and they're executing it better, as opposed to last season and in the year before with Rob Marinelli, who wasn't available. Last year they say Cooper Beebe. In fact, what is his name? What is his name? Duke Manyweather. Duke Manyweather told us over the offseason that Cooper Beebe is a surprise that Cooper Beebe played so well at center with the limited coaching that he had. Limited coaching that he had because Marinelli was never available. That coaching staff did not care. You saw it in the conviction that they didn't have and the fact that we barely executed because of the plays that were being called. It's a new day. It's a new day in Cowboys Nation. You get the fuck up. Get excited. It's a new day in Cowboys Nation. If you look at this roster, you can't tell me that it's the same old, same old. Was there some politics in certain spots? Yeah, I think so. There was some politics in certain spots. But for the most part, they let Shady do his thing. And he kept the best players. The mantra that he was speaking was, what was it? The mantra that he spoke the most of was competition. He let these guys compete. Hence why we have a Perion Winfrey. Hence why we have a James Houston. Hence why we have a Zion Childress. He allowed these guys to compete. Hence why we have Ryan Flanoy. He allowed these guys to compete, and they competed. The cream rose to the top. Now let's see what we got week 1. It's your boy, Hoodie KUSH, with the Basement Boys. Looking forward to bringing y'all some more content, you know what I'm saying, throughout the season. This is my first full year. This was my what just went by us was my first full preseason. I'm optimistic. I'm hoping to give you better production in the future. And yeah, man, I'm excited. Y'all should be too. With that being said, it's your boy, Hoodie KUSH, the Basement Boys. I'm up.